Last year pa, paulit-ulit na binigyan ng COA ang Office of the Vice President ng pagkakataon na maayos o may paliwanag itong mga expenditure na ginawa po nila sa paggamit po ng kanilang pondo. Tama rin po. At number 3, after all that time and all those chances, hindi talaga maayos o may paliwanag ng OVP ang kanilang paggamit doon sa confidential fund worth 125 million. I would just like to follow up the issue raised by the Honorable Paduano. You cannot answer kung ano po ang timeline para sa regular audit at saka fraud audit. Tama po. Hindi po nyo nasasagot.
May I clarify po? Since
Mr. Fahad Tumawis, you are recognized.
Since I am the audit team leader of the OVP for conducting the regular audit, meron po tayong timeline for the regular audit. Kasi usually, meron kaming timeline to transmit the report annually to the Congress, to the OP, and to the oversight bodies, as well as to the management or to the OVP. So meron po timeline na nasa GAA po, nasa General Appropriation Act.
Ano po yung timeline na yun?
For the regular audit.
Yes. Ano po? Ilang buwan? Ilang taon?
Hindi kasi natin kasi hindi tayo special audit.
September na ito.
Huwag niyo po kasi sabihin sa amin na may timeline kung hindi niyo alam kung ilan ang buwan, araw o taon yung pag-conduct ninyo. Because the next question that I will ask is, if you conduct a fraud audit, how long will it take? Would it be more than the number of months, years sa pag-conduct ninyo ng regular audit? Kasi mga taga-COA, yun po yung problema ni Chairman Carrapso, who is the Chairman of the Committee on Public Accounts. Yung hearing po namin doon, naririnig namin yung regular audit at saka fraud audit. At napapansin namin, napakatagal po. As if there's no difference between the timeline of the regular audit and the fraud audit. Kaya ang susunod na tanong ko rin sa inyo is, what is the purpose of the fraud audit? Anong objective? Kaya siguro sa next hearing, para hindi naman ma-delay yung proceedings na ito, banggit na rin sa susunod na hearing. Ano po?
Noted po, Mr. Chair.
Yes, kasi yun po ang problema namin sa mga hearings namin dito. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Please continue. Yes, kayo na po. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have more or less 30 questions and 2 manifestations. I hope the honorable congressman next to me would not gripe and get mad at me. Mr. Chair, may I proceed?
Yes, but you have to squeeze your 30 questions and 2 manifestations into 5 minutes. Please proceed.
Mr. Chair,
I'm giving him all the time in the world.
Okay. Sige po, please proceed, Congressman Ako.
Thank you, Vice Chair Abante. May I ask COA, ang una po ninyong ini-issue sa isang agency na nagkakaroon po ng problema tungkol sa kanilang use of public funds would be your AOM or Audit Observation Memorandum. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
And the next would be a notice of suspension. Tama rin po ba?
Sa regular audit, pwedeng notice of suspension or pwedeng notice of charge.
Audit of?
Notice of suspension or notice of charge?
Notice of charge?
Charge po.
Yes, okay. And after that, there will be a notice of disallowance.
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Tama. Now, would there be a timeline pursuant to your circulars na meron po yung interval ng pagbigay ng AOM, after which your notice of suspension or notice of charge, and then notice of disallowance?
Mr. Chair, sa regular audit and even sa confidential funds audit, 15 days after issuance of AOM, the agency must give their reply.
Yes, but they can ask for they can file a motion for reconsideration to extend the period. Nangyayari po yata yun.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, yun nga po ang may gusto lang akong i-point out. So, it's very possible na nagpa-file sila ng motion for extension of time to file their answer.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Now, that is also true after the issuance of a notice of suspension.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Pwede rin sila mag-file ng extension of time before you give the notice of disallowance?
Mr. Chair, may I clarify those?
Please, Mr. Tomawis.
For the regular audit, first thing po na ginagawa namin pag may nakita kami mga deficiencies, mag-issue kami ng AOM, and the management is given 15 days to reply for comments para ma-justify nila kung may mga justification sila. And then just in case po na dun sa deficiencies noted po namin is may mga non-submission of documents or may mga lacking documents, we can issue notice of suspension.
I know that, but ang tanong ko po is, they can file a motion to extend the time for them to submit. Nangyayari po yun, di po ba?
I think I have no authority or position na magsabi dun, because the notice pag po inappeal na, or for example may extension, but then on my perspective po as auditor ng OBP, we are required po dun sa we are required na dapat ma-comply po ng management. Pag nag-issue kami ng notice, dapat ma-comply nila within the 90 days period.
Assuming that they will not be able to comply, what is your next move?
That's the time po na pwede na kayo mag-issue ng notice of disallowance kasi nag-mature na po yung notice of suspension.
15 days, sige. To follow you. After which, the notice of suspension, di ba rin siya? Ano ang susunod? Notice of disallowance. How long would that take?
For the notice of disallowance po, for example, dun sa notice of suspension, pag na-issue na po yun, the management or the agency is given 90 days to comply with the requirements. Then if ever po na hindi nila ma-comply with that period, magmamature na po siya into notice of disallowance. Then,
so, 3.5 months. 90 days, 3 months plus 15 days, 3.5 months.
For the notice of suspension po, may requirement po na 90 days.
Kaya nga, plus yung 15 days na panyo ng kwan from AOM,
yes,
so that's 3.5 months. Now, doon po sa question ng 125 million na confidential fund, in-issue nyo po yung liquidated report po nyo January 10, 2023. Di po ba? Would that be correct? And you issued the notice of suspension only in December 13, 2023. Would that be correct?
Mr. Chair, the first AOM was issued on September.
Hindi, tinatanong ko kung if that is correct, yung sinabi ko po. Kindly answer yes or no. Is my data wrong?
Mr. Chair, may I request?
Sabi ko, dito po sa report nyo na notice of disallowance, yung liquidation report ninyo is dated January 10, 2023. Tama po.
Tama po.
Tama. Yun nga po ang tinatanong ko. And the notice of suspension was dated December 13, 2023. Now, January 10, 2023 to December 13, 2023, almost 1 year na. Akala ko ba ay 15 days lang dapat?
Mr. Chair.
Kailan nyo in-issue yung AOM nito?
Yung AOM po was issued September 14.
September 14. Di na-extend talaga. And sabi kanina ni Mr. Tumawis, 15 days lang. Pero dito, sa kaso na ito, kung September 13 yung AOM ninyo, dapat October pa lang, nag-i-issue na kayo ng notice of suspension. So tama yung sinasabi ko na na-extend yung time dahil yun ang experience namin sa sa hearings namin coming from your representatives.
Yung 15 days, Mr. Chair, is for them to answer. Of
Yes.
course, after they give their compliance po, we have to evaluate for their reply.
So how long would it take you? Kaya ko tinatanong yung timeline dahil ang problema, kung titignan po ninyo yung mga katanungan kanina, yung tagal.
Mr. Chair, depend po kasi sa complexity nung sinubmit nila po sa amin.
Well, anyway, let's deal with your AOM na in-issue po ninyo noong fiscal year 2022 yung confidential funds ng OVP. Pwede po bang malaman ano po ang nag-trigger na mag-issue kayo ng AOM regarding the confidential funds of the OVP in 2022?
Based on their submitted liquidation report, we found deficiencies in the documents that they gave us.
Doon sa documents na binigay po sa inyo?
Sa submitted liquidation report, Mr. Chair.
Pwede po bang malaman namin kung ano po yung major findings na nandun po sa Audit Observation Memorandum?
Mr. Chair, yung major findings are the ones that can be seen na po sa Notice of Disallowance. Which is yung sa payment of rewards.
At ang tanong ko po, Madam Attorney, is that ano po yung major findings doon sa AOM, hindi po sa Notice of Disallowance? Kasi you must have a basis why you issue the AOM. And I want to know the basis of that.
Mr. Chair, dun sa AOM, first they did not submit documentary evidence of payment to support their accomplishment report. And then, per analysis of the submitted accomplishment report, it was revealed that some of the fund was used for medical and food aid and travel relative to confidential operations, although it was not yet clear if at that point if it was used for confidential operations. And then we have the payment of rewards, which were not supported with documents evidencing the success of the information gathering. And then they also did not submit the special budget request and the amended accomplishment report. And then the DV was not properly accomplished by the DV was not
Okay. Yes.
particularly
Now,
accomplished.
these observations of yours were repeated sa Notice of Disallowance. Sinagot mo na yung kanina Di ba?
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
Chair.
Now, ang susunod na katanungan ko po is, did the Office of the Vice President issue any response in relation to your AOM?
Yes, Mr. Chair, that is why the remaining items in the NDs are those that we are not yet satisfied with.
Yes, the responses given by the Office of the OVP did not satisfy your requirement.
as to the ND, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Now, may in-issue din po kayong notice of suspension dahil hindi nga po acceptable yung sagot ng Office of the Vice President.
Yes, Mr.
Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Ano po yun po yung dahilan bakit nag-issue kayo notice of suspension? Hindi nag-comply yung OVP sa mga requirements po ninyo?
Hindi nag-comply, Mr. Chair, or their compliance is still not sufficient.
Yes. Now, nung naibigay nyo yung notice of suspension po ninyo, pwede po bang malaman ano po yung findings na inilagay nyo ron, at saka what steps did the Office of the Vice President take in view of the notice of suspension?
As to the notice of suspension, again, the rewards was not fully documented. Some of the accomplishment reports should not be included as confidential expenses,
Yes.
such as the tables, chairs, and then we noted also that some of the acknowledgement receipts were undated or not properly dated.
Okay.
And then they used different
Ma'am,
accounting terms.
pwede po ba pakilakasan niyo yung boses ninyo at Tagalogin na po ninyo? Para medyo mas maliwanag po.
Opo. Yung ibang nasubmit po na acknowledgement receipts, ibang accounting terms ang ginamit compared sa what is required in the joint circular.
So, Madam, sa pagkaintindi ko, kung maayos sanang sinagot ng Office ng Vice President yung mga requirements po ninyo, hindi na po dapat ma-issuean sila ng notice of disallowance. Would that be correct?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Now, pero nag-issue po kayo ng notice of disallowance.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Pwede po bang ilahad ninyo sa amin ano yung major findings of observations niyo sa notice of disallowance? Yun po ba ang binanggit ninyo? Yun din po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yung sa payment of rewards na kulang po ang documentation on the success of the information gathering, yun pong pag-charge nila ng tables, chairs, desktop computers sa confidential funds, which is not wala po sa joint circular. And then yun pong resubmission nung updated na accomplishment report nila sa 3 offices po.
And to confirm, Madam Attorney, these findings and observations were already raised doon pa lang sa AOM. Tama
Yes
po?
po, tama po, Mr. Chair.
And sa matagal na panahon na naibigay natin ang pagkakataon sa Office of the Vice President na may paliwanag at ma-rectify kumbaga yung inyong mga observations doon sa AOM, hindi pa rin nabago hanggang nag-issue po kayo ng notice of disallowance.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mayroon naman pong submissions but kulang po.
In other words, hindi po ma-justify ng Office of the Vice President yung kanilang expenditure program, yung paggamit po nila ng pondo. In general, would that be correct?
That would be the correct po.
Mr. Chair, I just want to emphasize this point. Kasi a few weeks ago lang natin unang nabalitaan itong mga findings na nakalaan sa notice of disallowance. Pero sa naririnig ko ngayon from COA, last year pa nila pinupunto ang mga pagkukulang na ito ng Office of the Vice President. Sa aking pagtatanong po sa inyo, yun po ang lumalabas. Number 2, last year pa, paulit-ulit na binigyan ng COA ang Office of the Vice President ng pagkakataon na maayos o may paliwanag itong mga expenditure program, expenditure na ginawa po nila sa paggamit po ng kanilang pondo. Tama rin po. At number 3, after all that time and all those chances, hindi talaga maayos o may paliwanag ng OVP ang kanilang paggamit doon sa confidential fund worth 125 million. Would that be correct?
Bale, ang amount na lang po niya sa notice of disallowance is 73 something.
Yes. Yun ang hindi nila naipaliwanag hanggang ngayon.
Opo.
That is for the confidential fund for 2022. Now, could we go to the confidential fund for 2023 na worth 500 million? Tama rin po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair. Yung budget po nila.
Pwede po bang malaman, masabi ninyo dito sa committee na ito, kung nagkaroon din ba ng audit observation memorandum na inisyu ninyo ukol sa 2023 confidential funds? Meron din po bang AOM ito?
Meron din po, Mr. Chair.
Meron?
Meron po, Mr. Chair.
Ngayon, ilan pong AOM ay nailabas po ninyo in relation to this 2023 confidential fund?
Dalawang AOMs po, Mr. Chair.
Dalawang
Yes, Mr.
AOM.
Chair.
Tama ba ang aking pagkaintindi na bawat quarterly disbursement ng OVP insofar as their confidential fund for 2023 are concerned ay may lumalabas na AOM galing sa inyo?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Although yung first and second period, pinagsama na po namin sa isang AOM.
Yes,
Kaya
but
yung third period-
pinagsama po nyo yung dalawang period.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Now, would it be true na ang ibig sabihin lahat ng quarterly liquidation ng OVP may problema?
Yes, Mr.
Ganon po ang lumalabas sa sagot po ninyo.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes. In general terms, maaari nyo po bang ipresenta sa committee ito yung major findings at observations sa bawat AOM na binigay po ninyo sa Office of the Vice President?
Mr. Chair, compared
Hindi, tinatanong ko lang naman kung maaari po nyo ibigay dito sa committee. Ang sagot lang po nyo, kung kaya po ninyo, kaya nyo po ba o hindi?
Before you answer, Attorney Camora, the chair would like to manifest that the time of Congressman Acop is already up, but considering that Congressman Benny Abante already yielded to Congressman Acop, ibibigay po natin yung patutuloy po natin kay Congressman Acop yung time po ni Congressman Benny Abante. Please answer, Attorney Camora.
Mr. Chair, considering that the audit of the compliance of the AOMs is still ongoing,
You cannot submit.
I cannot yet.
Yun lang po ang gusto ko. Ang tanong ko naman po kung maaari nyo ibigay. Kung hindi pwede, you just give us the reason why.
Yes.
So, you cannot give it dahil ongoing pa
Ongoing
yun.
pa.
Okay, thank you. Now, yung bang mga issues na nakikita nyo ngayon sa 2023, kagaya rin bang na mga issues noong 2022 vis-a-vis their confidential funds?
There are some similar findings, Mr. Chair.
Similar. So, ang ibig sabihin, ini-expect natin na mag-issue kayo ng notice of suspension at saka notice of disallowance. Would that be a correct statement?
I have yet to see the compliance report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Auditor. Mr. Chair, I would like to make a manifestation insofar as the refusal of the Vice President to take her oath insofar as the hearing of this committee is concerned. such refusal can damage the public's perception of integrity in public office. The Filipino people deserve honesty and openness from their leaders, especially when their actions are being scrutinized. The House inquiry is in aid of legislation to serve the public interest. Dodging the oath gives the impression that the Vice President may not want the full truth to come out. No one is above the law or beyond the reach of truth. We humbly urge the Vice President to reconsider her position and take her oath, as this inquiry is meant to benefit the people we serve. Transparency should never be optional for public officials. We all owe it to the Filipino people to tell the truth under oath if it is necessary. Now, my second manifestation, Mr. Chair, would pertain to the issue of tradition as raised by the Honorable Marcoleta. And this is not my personal manifestation, but a manifestation of a group of Filipino citizens. And I would like to quote from their Viber. The Constitution of the Philippines, specifically Article 11, Section 1, explicitly states that public office is a public trust. At all times, public officers and employees must be accountable to the people, serve them with the utmost responsibility, integrity, loyalty, and efficiency. The primary responsibility of legislators is to the people and the nation, as this provision emphasizes. It is not to maintain outdated traditions that may obstruct necessary scrutiny and transparency in government operations. Although some may contend that these courtesies are extended to high-ranking officials, it is crucial to recognize that taxpayer funds are the source of funding for all public offices, including the office of the Vice President. Consequently, it is imperative that each centavo allotted to it undergoes the same rigorous assessment as any other department or office. Legislators are failing to fulfill their obligation to ensure that public funds are allocated responsibly and prudently by prematurely concluding budget discussions. The power of the purse is vested in Congress by Article 6, Section 24 of the Constitution. This authority requires the scrutiny of the national budget to ensure that it is in accordance with the requirements of the populace and that government programs and projects are appropriately funded and managed. Budget deliberations are not merely formalities. They are critical processes that enable legislators to evaluate and challenge the allocation of public funds. The constitutional mandate is directly violated by the use of tradition as an excuse to conclude these discussions. This is particularly true when the OVP's budget incorporates confidential funds, which necessitate even more rigorous scrutiny due to their nature. The people deserve transparency. It is time, I think, to discontinue a harmful practice. Not the deliberations themselves, but this long-honored tradition of circumventing critical budget evaluations should be terminated. Upholding such a practice, particularly when it directly affects the management of public funds, is a violation of the public interest mandate of legislators. We are at risk of fostering corruption and mismanagement by allowing tradition to supplant accountability. We have the right to demand that our representatives in Congress carry out their obligation to scrutinize the budget without exception as Filipinos. The OVP, or Office of the Vice President, like any other office that receives public funding, is subject to the same accountability standards. In order to guarantee that confidential funds are utilized for legitimate purposes that advance the public interest, they necessitate meticulous supervision. The first is a critical mechanism for preventing government overreach and the misappropriation of funds. Congress can guarantee that our government remains accountable to the people it serves by fulfilling this constitutional obligation. The public and our legislators are responsible for rejecting this detrimental tradition in favor of transparency and good governance. The integrity of our democratic processes and the restoration of trust in our institutions can only be achieved by doing so. Maraming pong salamat, Mr. Chairman.